What's up, everybody? Alex from Columbus here. Welcome back to another video. It is summer vinyl tag time. I love me a vinyl tag. I really do. Huge shout out to Martin. I keep wanting to say Marvin. I am sorry. I'm a piece of shit. Martin the Martian Vinyl, who put together 15 stellar questions for a summer vinyl tag. If you don't know a vinyl tag concept, somebody makes up a bunch of questions that you show a bunch of records to. They could be themed, they could be not, but it's the summertime. It's a gazillion degrees all the time. I'm over it. I'm a big dude. I'm tired of sweating. It's bad for everybody. But the point is that Martin put together 15 stellar questions. So cheers to you, Martin, for these great questions. It's 15 questions. And I would say this is for the, it is a vinyl tag, but it's for the music community. Not everybody collects vinyl. Some people are collecting CDs or tapes, 8-tracks, etc. So, jump on here. And again, shout out to Martin at Martin Martian. It's going to be below, so don't you worry about it. So, again, we have 15 questions. I'll be looking to the side here to make sure I got the questions right. But the first question here is your most recent heater. So, conceptually, something, maybe it was a grail, maybe it's something you're looking forward to a while, but something that has been on the turntable a lot that you are digging. And I figured a great chance to show this because I just picked it up, and this was a bit of a semi-grail for me. No, it's not like some butcher cover $900 record, but it's one that I've been on the lookout for a while, and I'm really stoked to have it, and it's a great fucking record, and that is Red Clay from the great Freddie Hubbard. Jazz record, one of the earlier CTI records, and arguably one of the best CTI records. Freddie Hubbard on trumpet. You have Joe Henderson. Man, I've been on a Joe Henderson kick on sax. Herbie Hancock on keys, who's just absolute ripping. Ron Carter on bass, and then Lenny White's on drums. So really cool lineup here. You got some other guests on some other of the tracks, but absolutely outstanding. This is a perfect sort of segue, kind of coming out of that hard / post-pop into more the soul jazz sort of thing that CTI would be so known for. But man, I was just so excited to have this and to pick it up yesterday. So there you go. Number 2 here, a record that will melt your face off. Well, I'll get a couple of the jazz records out the way, so all you people who hate the jazz, you can move on with your day. I get it. A record that will melt your face off. So I showed this the other week in a pickups video, but I've played it more and more, and man, it fucking smokes, man. And that's Spark Plug from Melvin Sparks. Sorry, I'm off center here. Melvin Sparks, jazz guitarist. This came out in the early 70s on the Prestige label. And man, just an absolute ripping, funky fusion album here. He is absolutely ripping on here. Grover Washington on tenor sax, Leon Spencer on organ, Idris Muhammad on drums. Incredible lineup, but this is a funky, fiery, smoking jazz fusion record that has been melting my face off. He's absolutely ripping. I will say, I've kind of gotten bored with jazz guitar over the years because they're just not ripping enough for me. Melvin be fucking ripping. So there you go. Spark Plug from Melvin Sparks. That is what is melting my dick off. I'm in my face. Number 3, Cheap Heat record. Man, there's so much out there. I'm always considering doing videos about records or artists that you can buy for so cheap that are heat, right? They're just freaking awesome. The one I wanted to pull today, I'm going to go up north to Canada, and I pulled Frank Marino Mahogany Rush live. Now, all Frank Marino is fucking great. Frank Marino Mahogany Rush. I mean, hard rock, bluesy. He was such a great guitar player. Still is. He just has some health issues, I think. I had tickets to go see him a couple years ago, but he had to cancel. Man, what an incredible, underrated, one of these guitar heroes that not enough people talk about, especially down here, I feel like. But man, he's just absolutely on fire, and the band's on fire on this record. The cool thing is with these Frank Marino records, man, they are absolutely burning. And they're all cheap. I mean, this is like a $5 to $8 record all day. Some of the really early stuff might get up there in the $15 to $20 range, maybe. But the vast majority of Frank Marino stuff is a $5 to $10 holler all day, and just incredible bluesy, hard rocking, amazing stuff. So yeah, Cheap Heat, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, live from 1978, I believe. All right. This is kind of a fun one. Two-piece swimsuit. So show a record with only 2 members in the band. Kind of a little bit timely because I just had a chance to see these guys back in the spring. And it's a brother band, right? So maybe that's cheating, but there's a little bit of a story. The record I'm going to show is "Oh Brother" from Dawes. This record came out last year. I got a chance to see them do a in-store free acoustic show back in Portland, end of spring, I think, maybe April or so. And they were just amazing. They did a signing afterwards. So you can see Taylor signed there, and then you can barely kind of see Griffin decided to sign it in black. Shows up really well. But yes, this is Griffin and Taylor Goldsmith, brothers who make up Dawes. Now, Dawes for a long time was sort of a full band, but they had so many people coming and going and going and coming, and on all hours of the night, that they decided, you know what, at this point in their career, 2024, oh brother, this idea that it's just us now, and the rest of the people who are in the band are sort of just, you know, sideman or other characters that were thrown in there, but really at this point it is just these 2 guys. And probably not my favorite Dawes record by any means, but it was still awesome to see them twice on this tour. So all in. Even Baz Dawes records are still pretty good for me. Your summer road trip soundtrack. Exactly what it sounds like. So if I'm road tripping, man, I want something that's going to keep me occupied. It's going to keep me interested. It's going to keep me rejuvenated. It's got to be, it's got to be long, right? Like I could throw on like a Grateful Dead live set and it would take up like 12 hours. But I decided to pull this. It's a live record from an artist I don't show very much, but I do have the utmost respect for this artist and this album specifically. And it is John Mayer, Where the Light Is, live in Los Angeles. So this is a great set. Music on Vinyl put out this set on vinyl. It is 3 sets, 4 LPs in here, I think. 3 sets. You have John doing a solo acoustic set. You have John's incredible trio, which I think is Peter Palladino and Steve Jordan, I think, is the bassist and drummer on here. And then you have the full band doing a full set at the end. So, I'm not a huge fan of all of John Mayer's stuff, but I no doubt that he is one of the absolute best contemporary guitarists out there. And if you don't believe me, man, give this record a listen, and you get so many different sides. You get his solo sort of acoustic pick and stuff. You think about the intro to Neon, which is super complex and one of the hardest guitars, one of the hardest guitar songs for like beginners to learn. And then you hear him just ripping some of the blues stuff. It's just outstanding. So yeah, I figured this is, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours or so of music. And it's going to keep me occupied because it's a variety, and it's just great music and great musicianship all around. So yeah, Where the Light Is, John Mayer live in Los Angeles. I think this was on the Continuum tour when he did this, 2008 maybe, something like that. Outstanding. Okay. Your most recent car boot or yard sale find. So yeah, folks in the UK, they have these car boot sales. We're a little bit more yard saley over here. I don't do the yard sales. I don't do the flea markets. I don't do anything like that. I just have so many great record stores around me that I'd go there all the time. And this is actually perfect timing because just yesterday I was in a store and they had some tables outside, and they're like, oh, these are $1. And it was mostly like some classical stuff or some big band stuff, whatever. But I saw this one hanging out there. And look, for the people who get really upset with like a crusty cover, I'm sorry. Like, you don't have to watch any further. It's going to be fine. But I said, you know what? For $1, we're going to pick it up. The vinyl looked good enough, and we're going to do it. But it is the debut, an original first pressing of The Days of Wine and Roses, the first record from the Dream Syndicate. Dream Syndicate, kind of part of that, or started that Paisley Underground sort of neo-psychedelia, alternative rock thing that went on. This came out in 1982. Now, if you can tell here, WOSR, this was a radio station promo, which I love the stuff. People hate it. I absolutely love this shit. Why? Well, A, because it's a promo, and B, because there's so much like history behind it, right? I'm assuming there's plenty of sort of these call signs or whatever for WOSR, but I'm going to assume WOSR was the actual college radio signal for Ohio State. If you don't know, I live 5 miles from Ohio State University, so that's really cool. This was, back in 1982, a promo copy that was sent to the college radio station here at Ohio State, WOSR. Again, there's your label. Now, again, the cover here is like falling apart big time. It's pretty terrible. But again, the vinyl looks good. Now, what I actually kind of appreciate is, again, the stuff that people hate. If you check out the back here again, OSRs aren't all over it, but here you can see there's like a postcard sort of thing. That is taped to the back that has all of like the tracking notes and all the fun facts and all the different stuff for DJs to kind of talk about. Here's the cool thing though. Again, I got this for $1. I'm going to call it a yard sale thing because it was just sort of out at the front of the record shop. This, I mean, in good shape, it's like a $50 record, which is really cool. So, yeah, there's the long form story of the car boot yard sale find, debut from Dream Syndicate, the Days of Wine and Roses promo. Really cool. Super happy about that. Here Comes the Sun. Show a record with the sun on the cover. This was the first one I thought about. Love this album cover. Love this album. The 4th record from Santana, Caravanserai. I think this is 1971 or 2. Definitely marked a little bit of a sonic change for the Santana band, kind of moving a bit away from the whole Latin rock thing and into more of a kind of jazz fusion-y progressive sort of thing. So yeah, an outstanding album overall. I love this album cover too. And again, it was the first one I thought of when I talked about the sun on the cover. You should ask for camels on the cover. Would have got that too. Hump day indeed. All right. A Campfire album, show an acoustic album. There's a couple different things I was thinking of, but I haven't shown this record. I don't know if I've ever shown this record. And especially this artist. I'm a huge fan of this artist, and I never talked about him. I thought this was a cool thing to show. It is the 21st studio album by the great Prince, called The Truth. God, I gotta get my shit figured out here. Okay, called The Truth. This came out in 1998. It was kind of part of that. He did like a whole like box set thing called Crystal Ball or some shit like that. But this record, 1998, called The Truth, was a fully acoustic sort of record. And it's cool because, you know, especially at this era of Prince, you know, he was huge into a lot of that sort of R&B, the funk type of stuff, even leaning more into like hip hop and those sort of elements. And so to have like a completely acoustic album where he's just ripping on acoustic guitar, really showcasing the type of player he is, or he was, it was really cool. So yeah, I mean, this is a record you put on and you're like, wait, that's Prince? How cool is that? So yeah, it's called The Truth, 1998. And again, acoustic record and a fucking great one. All right. Summer of 69, show a record from 1969. Gosh, man, there are just so many. How do you choose just one? I mean, I'm going to show this one. You can't really make a wrong choice here, but I think this is brilliant. It is the debut, tons of sobs from Free. You know, maybe because a lot of people are talking about Bad Company because of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, all that type of stuff. I'm like, man, give me Free all day, every day. I mean, I love those, you know, 5 or 6 Free albums, whatever it was. And especially this one, man. This is heavy, in your face, British blues. You know, Paul Kossoff is out of control here. Paul Rodgers, man, what an absolute voice that is. And man, I'm all about second track on this record, Worry, an absolute smoker. That's dedicated to you out there, Jason. You know who you are. But yeah, this was cool to find an original on this. Of course, an original North American cover. The UK had a different cover. It was kind of blue. But yeah, this was a record I was on the search for quite a while, and super glad to pick it up. But yeah, 1969, the debut from Free, an absolute banger of a record. All right, let's keep it going. Sorry, what's the next question here? Number 10, the perfect summer bod. Show a record that is perfect from start to finish. Again, you know, so many great options, but I go back to this one because to me, this is sort of represented, you know, it's like it serves as the comparison to other types of records. And to me, when I think of a perfect record, I don't just mean, you know, from start to finish, it's flawless, although that's part of it. I also think of sort of the apex of artistic expression as it meets commercial perfection. And to me, Moving Pictures by Rush. I'm going to do a video soon after I figure out the wording of it that kind of talks about exactly what I referenced. But this idea of that pinnacle and perfect intersection between artistic expression and commercial perfection. And to me, Moving Pictures does that, right? I mean, you think about side A, it's the hits, right? It's Tom Sawyer, it's Red Barchetta, it's YYZ or YYZ, it's Limelight. What a side one. But then side two, it's the deep cuts. It's the weird stuff. It's the shit that makes you scratch your head and you're like, wow, I forgot about how brilliant Rush was. And here it was. Now they're writing, I'm not going to say pop songs, but holy commercialism all over the radio. Again, all those songs on that first side, but then side B with Witch Hunt, Vital Signs, Camera Eye, the weird stuff, the stuff that doesn't sound anything like that commercial stuff up front. But I mean, I gotta be honest, man, Moving Pictures to me, that is the model perfect album, or the perfect summer bod, as we are looking for here. Summer, these are like a series of questions. Summer of Love. Okay, what record are you in love with at the moment? So this just came out a few weeks ago. A lot of hubbub in the progressive rock world about this. This is off of the great label that's led by Ken Golden, Laser's Edge, and an amazing progressive rock album that is spending a lot of time on the turntable and is going to be nearing the top of my end of the year list. But it is the record, The Book of Hours by Agripelter. Sort of a project of a Norwegian act, Kay Olsen, I think, and just outstanding. Instrumental, huge mellotron here. Obviously huge influences by the King Crimsons of the world and the Camels of the world and all that kind of good stuff. But there's also a different sort of compositional element to all this that just makes perfect sense. Now, this album cover is fucking amazing, by the way. I mean, that is just as good as it gets right there. I'll give like the full out on it. That's prog 101 right there. But if you are a prog fan, seek out this record. Lasercd.com might be the only place you can get it, but it's both a CD and as vinyl. Check this out. Agripelter, Book of Hours, absolutely amazing, and what I've been listening to a lot this summer. Summer of Love, recommend another channel. Well, here's where it gets complicated because there's so many great channels and a lot of channels are my friends. But when I think of channel recommendation, I always think about people who make me learn something. Every time I watch them, I'm like, holy crap. Like, I watch some people and I'm like, this motherfucker knows way too much. They should like be writing books. But the channel I'm going to recommend is for my good friend Peter he's in Japan at Music is a Journey. Peter is just awesome. He's one of the kindest people I've ever met or interacted with, I guess virtually. Knowledge is like out of control. I don't like research before videos. His videos are like, they're literally like an academic project coming at you. I mean, he does anything from some pretty brutal, foundations of black metal and death metal, and then just did a whole series on Japanese shoegaze, and it was like incredible. I felt like I was watching a documentary. So, Peter, if you're watching, man, just know that you're the best, and you're my recommendation for this video. Anyway, okay, last question on the Summer of Love. Recommend an album you think everyone will enjoy. Well, I don't know if that's a guarantee, but we're going to throw this one out there because I think this is a great album that came out this year, and I want to talk about it some more. But it is A Tiger's Tale from Leroy Conroy on the Coal Mine Records label. Leroy Conroy, better known as Terry Cole, is the owner and founder of Coal Mine Records, and this is his first solo LP that he put out that just came out a few months ago, and it is outstanding. It is instrumental. It is jazzy in parts. It is a little bit dub in parts. It's very, very soundtracky in parts. The whole hype sticker here is sort of like a wink, wink, joke is what if Shere Khan was the good guy? It's been sampled by a whole bunch of people. And yeah, a hypothetical soundtrack of moody instrumentals laced with emotion and heavy drums. So, you know, you could argue this is great headphone stuff if you really want to sit in it, but it's also just really good background music if you're, you know, cleaning, washing dishes, fucking like whatever you do in your spare time. This is great. And I think it's, you know, one of the best compliments is like, it's so inoffensive. I cannot imagine this turning anybody off or, you know, turning anybody away from this. So if you don't know Tiger's Tail, you don't know Leroy Conroy, you don't know Coal Mine, where you been, hoes? Amazing record that I think everybody will love. We're going on a summer's holiday show record. You grabbed whilst on holiday. I guess the last sort of vacation I took was back visiting my brother back in May, who lives in Austin, Texas. And of course I had to take him, we had to go record shopping. And this was one of the pickups from that time. I mean, I got a bunch of shit, but this is what stuck out because this was a little bit of a semi-grail for me. And that is the Flaming Lips at war with the Mystics. I love the Flaming Lips. Why? Because they're fucking weird, right? Like they're weird. At this point, this was sort of the end of sort of what I would call like a magical trilogy of sort of their neo-psychedelic poppy type stuff. You know, features the Yeah, Yeah, Yeah song. Follow your power. And it's just dope. I don't think this has been reissued. So this is a pretty expensive. It's like a, I don't know, $7,500 record, something like that. But yeah, pumped to have this. This by far was like the highlight pickup of the trip. So glad to have it. And then last, I love this question. The most overshadowed album of all time. Well, overshadowed, right? Like, how do you define that? Well, that's what's fun about the question. To me, I think about records. This is where my mind went, was that there was so much attention given to the debut because it was so groundbreaking that no one really cared about the second record, even though it was just as good. Maybe. Up to you. The record I'm going to show is Outside Inside by Blue Cheer. Okay, so in 1968, Blue Cheer, of course, releases Vincebus Eruptum. It is a groundbreaking, you know, fuzzed out, the start of heavy metal as we know it, you know, all that type of stuff, you know, I don't care about the summertime blues. You know, it's got everything, man. People goop their shorts over Vincebus Eruptum, and it's amazing. Like, it's a great fucking record. And so is this. This is their second record. This is heavy as fuck too. Heavy, in your face, rock and roll. This is an outstanding record. So Blue Cheer, they would move a little bit softer. It's not like they went yacht rock, but the first two records, you got that debut. Get this one next. This came out either 68 or 69, Outside Inside. This is just as good, just as heavy. But since it wasn't as groundbreaking because it wasn't the debut, I don't think people cared nearly as much. But if you just gave up on Blue Cheer after that record, go find this one because it absolutely smokes butthole too. So, all right, there you go. 15 questions. Again, thank you, Martin. I'll have all Martin's info below. Great questions. Jump on this if you haven't already. It's a ton of fun. And yeah, now I get to do the fun thing where I got to put a whole bunch of records away because that's what we do. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Sorry, I'm a piece of shit.